Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, academics play a vital role in the upbringing of our children. However, aspects such as lack of proper nutrition, cognitive skills, among others, can result in a child performing poorly academically. Now, we are joined by educational psychologist Celeste Janse from Vuuren to give us some advice on how to tackle these issues and provide the right amount of support. Remember, you can be part of our discussion by leaving your comments on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter pages. And we're also taking your calls on 011-447-1742 or 011-447-2570 for your comments or questions this morning. Celeste, thanks very much for joining us this morning. So let's sort of like kick off our conversation by describing some of the things that children struggle with or things that impede them in their learning ability at school.
Okay, within the classroom, usually they struggle with reading activities or spelling or mathematics, so it's more your academic skills, and then as well as emotional coping with the struggle of the academic functioning within the classroom, the stresses, the studying of the actual work, as well as social skills and friendships and the whole routine and structure.
Okay, so in terms of like the academic skills, some would argue that, their children, they are learning, so they're not going to grasp it, as quickly as adults would expect them to. So what are the signs to know that this children is struggling and this one is at the right pace? And how do you identify that?
Usually it's the classroom teacher that starts off with speaking to the parents, saying, listen, your child is struggling, or if the teacher is not doing it, then it's usually then the school report that shows the marks going down, or the child is not coping with the homework in specific subjects as well. So it's usually those signs, as well as usually they're crying or they're too tired or there's too much going on in their lives.
When you say too much going on in their lives, children these days, they have academic programs, they have to do extra mural stuff after school, and most times parents think that's what they have to do because the school is offering this, they have to do sports. And when it's too much, what is exactly too much?
Too much is when the child cannot cope. They do need a balance between academics and the sport or cultural activities, any extramurals. But it mustn't become too much for them on a daily basis, so that they're never at home, never able to do their homework. And then that's when the children struggle emotionally as well. Then you have the crying, you have the outbursts, you have defiance. You really have kids that struggle then. Not knowing how to study, that's also a problem that they experience because parents are not always with them at home. So some of the kids are at home alone or in aftercare centres or with tutors and au pairs. So that is something that they have to look at, that they can look at.
So when you start throwing a term like cognitive skills, in the conversation, and then for a lot of people it's like, what is that? What does it entail? What do we need to understand about it?
It's how our brains work. Our brains work in different modalities, and we have different intelligences. So we have different learning styles. A child's cognitive style is, for example, he's a kinesthetic learner. So that means learning by moving. Or an auditory learner is someone that learns by hearing. Or a visual learner, someone that has to write. So those are your learning differences within kids. And then you have intelligence as well. The different intellectual abilities. Some children do need a little bit more support. It can be internal difficulties that they experience, for example, from birth right through to being born, a baby crawling, all the motor development as well. That could have an impact as well.
Okay, so what impact? Okay, so what are we gonna do now? We ask our viewers to comment on our Facebook page with regards to some of the questions. So let's bring in Mark, who's gonna share some of those as we continue our conversation. Okay. Mark.
Yes, indeed. Good morning.
Morning.
We asked our viewers, in your view, what are some of the reasons why children struggle at school? And some of the comments as follow. Eugene saying, it is because parents send their children to school as to get rid of them during the day, and when they get back from school, parents have no interest to make a follow-up on their schoolwork. In other words, parents look up to school as a social grant service. I send my children to school, and the school must make them pass, basically. And then Leboang saying parents don't help their kids with their homework or teach them and meet the teachers halfway, saying it's their job of the teacher. How can you say that as a parent you are doing your child you're not doing your child a favor? And teachers, when a child comes back from school, to try to show interest in schoolwork by checking their books, having conversations. What did the teacher teach on, obviously? And then Victor saying fatigue. Some travel long distances to school, wake up early, and get to school tired. Family problems such as lack or poverty. And then also saying drugs. Some go to school drunk and already high on drugs. Friends also saying friends can influence. There's some friends who study at night and party with you during the day. So that's also a big influence. But I think some of the general comments, a lot of the viewers saying that parents can't neglect their role in the child's basically studying.
Yes, no, parents are definitely, they are with their kids. They had their kids for a reason, and they're part of that whole equation. So parents and children and the school have to work together. It doesn't work if it's not in that circle.
Okay, one more comment is Chimwemwe saying, I think children struggle in school when they don't have the tools or strategies to manage their academic demands. That's a big role as well. Because I mean, there are systems you can put in place to help the kids.
Yes.
What are some of those systems? Maybe if we can talk about that.
Yes. For example, it depends on the school as well. But children with if they experience difficulties, if there's a school-based support team at the school to support them with learning difficulties or extra classes.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Or extra classes as well. At the school for extramural, teachers or any other support staff can provide extra lessons. And then all your stationery as well. The kids need the books and they need the actual stationery to do the work. And then your teachers, if they can get continuous professional development to be up to date with all the stuff going on. With the kids. A child is not a machine. They don't just come to school and work academically. They come from a home with different emotional backgrounds, different social backgrounds. Some of them have to walk to school. Some of them don't get breakfast. So a teacher has to sit with all of those kids in a classroom, and that's when learning difficulties come into play.
Okay, so you touched on some of them don't have breakfast, and it was a big talking point when we were preparing for this interview. Nutrition, the role of nutrition and in enabling children to learn. I mean, bread, whatever you're giving your children, cornflakes in the morning, some of all of these things. Not all parents know what is good for the child's brain early in the morning and what's not. What do you say to that?
Well, that's a big part of my parenting skills that I work with. That's a point that I touch on every single time I speak to parents. It's about the nutritional value of the diet, the child's diet. A child cannot learn without a good nutritional breakfast, as well as food during the day. At nighttime as well, but right through the day is the best. So your protein-based foods for breakfast. Anything that has a good source of protein in it. And then a snack, you're also more protein-based because your concentration levels go down during the day. If you take, for example, a high GI kind of food in or high carbs, it doesn't support the child. So more protein-based food, as well as supplements or fish oils or anything like that, natural seeds, your nuts. Those are very, very good for food sources for a child's sustained attention.
Okay, but a lot of parents will say, my children are very fussy. They won't eat that in the morning. They don't want that. They just want the sweet stuff and basic. How do you help the children understand the significance of that and the importance of how this is good for them when they go to school? I mean, because it could be you could be coming across like you're being forceful, and that just
Yes.
makes the whole thing breaks down.
Good parenting skills from the start. Communicate effectively with your child. Have a chat about it. You can Google and do YouTube videos to find out as a parent how you can approach your child. Every parent knows their child and how to approach them on the emotional level to connect with them. Read stories about nutritional food. We work with stories quite a lot. Bibliotherapy works wonders with little ones.
Okay, what are some of the foods that you recommend?
Veggies, always veggies. Fruit, because it's a natural sugar. And then protein, meat, eggs, biltong, drivels. Those are very good food sources right through the day. And then your fish, any good sources of fish. But it also has to do with the way you prepare it. You can't just deep fry everything because then you're not supporting the body. So anything that healthy comes out of the garden. Those are the good food sources.
Okay, great stuff. Celeste, thanks very much for coming through and joining us this morning right here on the show. Of course, we've been speaking to educational psychologist Celeste Janse van Vuuren, of course, sharing with us